Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله هو المسيح ابن مريم وقال المسيح يا بني إسرائيل اعبدوا الله ربي وربكم إنه من يشرك بالله فقد حرم الله عليه الجنة ومأواه النار وما للظالمين من أنصار.
They have certainly disbelieved who say, Allah is the Messiah, the son of Mary, while the Messiah has said, O children of Israel, worship Allah, my Lord and your Lord. Indeed, he who associates others with Allah, Allah has forbidden him paradise, and his refuge is the fire, and there are not for the wrongdoers any helpers.
Funding for America at a Crossroads was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
For almost 50 years in prisons, Islam has been a powerful force for good. But since 9/11, concerns have been raised that Muslim inmates could be radicalized to commit violence. How big is this perceived danger? How concerned should we be?
How much of that's going to catch on here in the United States? How much of that's going to spread here over time? Who knows? There are people who are trying to inculcate that, who are trying to spread that here in this country. Now, whether this is fertile ground, as fertile as other places, only time will tell.
One early sign of trouble in the U.S. came in 1993, when the World Trade Center was first attacked. At the time, there was no established strategy for dealing with terrorists, and one of the conspirators was put in federal prison. The charismatic leader, Sheikh Omar Abdel Rahman, known as the Blind Sheikh, was allowed to freely mingle with other inmates. Later, officials were concerned that Rahman had infused his radical jihadist philosophy in the prison system. But other prison officials and chaplains across the country say that reports of radicalized Muslim prisoners are exaggerated and do not reflect their own professional experiences.
I have not found or seen one incident of people associated with any type of radical Islam.
We have really no reason to believe that it's a pattern of any sort.
We really struggle with extremism from the religious point of view in other groups more so than we do in the Islamic community.
Those people who know the history of law enforcement and corrections in this country, many of them non-Muslims, will tell you that the Muslim inmate has been a positive benefit for whatever prisons they've been in.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Islam installed in me discipline. It helped me mold a nice positive attitude about myself that I always had in me, but I didn't know I had before. But you know, I just choose to be with the wrong crowd, listen to all kind of nonsense as far as rap music and the disrespectful of women. And, you know, Islam forbid all that. So, you know, Islam was a shining light in my life.
African Americans are the largest ethnic group of Muslims in the U.S. Among young black men in prison, Islam is one of the fastest growing religions.
We greet and welcome you with the greeting of peace in the Quran in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum.
Many African Americans are attracted to Islam in prison because of its ideals. The ideals of self-discipline, of ritual prayer, of community.
Peace lovers, peacemakers.
We in Islam call it a reversion, that is going back to our natural state under the laws of God. And what it means to them is that they can learn to be a part of a different culture. I'm not just a colored person. I'm not just an inferior person in the socioeconomic stratification categories of the United States. I belong to a culture that goes back to Abraham himself.
Conversion in prison, whatever one's faith, can be a profound experience. In the case of Islam, with one sentence in Arabic, you transition into the religion.
Once you become Muslim, you are born again. Once you say, I bear witness that there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger, with knowledge and understanding, we believe that everything you did before that moment has been wiped away and you're a new person. And when that happens, you see people acting differently and you see some pretty wonderful things happen.
It's not a religion for people.
I was rebellious. I was headed for self-destruction. I was an angry person because of my situation, my status. So when I started taking steps forward, I was more at peace with myself. That's what I was searching. That's what I've been searching for most of this time, is peace.
To believe in God.
Whenever I go to the mosque or the Jummah service or anything like that, it always makes me stop and think, you know, is this right, is this wrong, you know? So it's the best thing for me, stay out of trouble.
Allahu Akbar.
In Islam, we're required to pray 5 times a day. That requirement is that prayer should take place in congregation. So that whole ritual in and of itself teaches community. It teaches sameness, equality. We're all equal before our Lord, the rich and the poor, the haves and the have-nots. When you stand in that line, there are no distinctions.
Allahu Akbar.
Unlike in Europe, most Muslim inmates in the U.S. are not immigrants, but American-born with their own American history. For many African American inmates who choose Islam, the role model for the transformation from street thug to self-taught scholar was Malcolm X.
One of the reasons that Islam became popular was the prevalence of the autobiography of Malcolm X as a foundation text for conversion. It described the life of a man who, from his early teens, fell into petty crime and then became an incarcerated person and learned through hard study how to reconstruct his life.
During the 50s and early 60s, Malcolm X was a leader in the Nation of Islam. Though considered radical, the group aimed to improve the spiritual, social, and economic condition of blacks in America. And it provided one of the first Islamic programs in prison.
Teaching separation from it.
Over time, the Nation of Islam has tamed much of its racist rhetoric, and many of its former members follow traditional Islam. One former member of the Nation of Islam is Imam Warith Deen Umar. During the 1970s, he became one of the first imams to work in the New York prison system. In the heightened sensitivity of the post-9/11 America, Umar came under suspicion for condoning terrorist acts. Like Malcolm X, Imam Umar went to jail at a young age and later converted to Islam.
Islam helped me become a better person. It helped me become a better father. It helped me become a better citizen. Being that it helped me, I wanted to go back and help my brothers in the prisons. I found that Islam could actually change these people and make them better.
Imam Umar worked in the prison system for 25 years. Like many prison chaplains at that time, he had no formal training, but he rose through the ranks to become an administrative chaplain for the state of New York.
I work with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. I work with the Office of Mental Health. I work with the State Division for Youth. I worked in the county jails. I helped to manage and develop the Islamic programs throughout the state of New York and in other parts of the country.
In 2000, after he retired with commendations, he continued to work as a prison volunteer and consultant. But in the heightened sensitivity of post-9/11 America, some began to look at the penal system for signs of terrorism, and the outspoken imam would soon find himself under fire.